Welcome everybody to the Week 9 edition of the Thursday DFS NFL Playbook. I'm Jeff Mance for FantasyAlarm TV, kicking it with you today, taking you through my playbook players for Week 9. We got to start out with the Thursday night game. I like this game. Unlike last week I had Emmanuel Sanders and Antonio Gates. Ended up getting us 5 touchdowns out of 2 players. Don't think it's going to quite go that route again, but I do like Cam Newton if you're playing a quarterback today. Pretty good value price, $8,000 on DraftKings. I think he's going to be able to run the ball a lot. It's a big difference going from the Seattle Seahawks defense that, despite the record, is still very formidable. Now he's playing against the New Orleans Saints, who are just terrible. They have no secondary, should be able to throw with ease. And now that Cam Newton's running again, he's a high ceiling type quarterback. And at $8,000, still a pretty good value price for this week. So I'm playing him over Breeze if you're playing the Thursday night games. Other quarterbacks I like for the weeks, getting your double ups in and whatnot. Russell Wilson, yeah, astonishing, isn't it? This is the first time in modern memory that I can remember liking Russell Wilson. $7,800 over on DraftKings this week. He is the focus of this offense. You know, Marshawn Lynch has been getting it done. The running game's not getting it done. No Percy Harvin anymore. You got Doug Baldwin, Jermaine Kearson, a band of misfits. Russell Wilson taking it under, tucking it away and running with the football, becoming a high upside fantasy quarterback these days. Other guys, I like Kaepernick coming off the bye against the Rams. Always does real well against St. Louis. I like him with that extra week off. Carson Palmer. What's with the price? $6,800 on Carson Palmer. Are you kidding me? He's 20 plus points on DraftKings every single week for $6,800. I don't see how you don't build a tournament lineup around him. If you really wanted to go lower, $1,100 less than even Carson Palmer's, Alex Smith. This week, I like the Chiefs matchup. Very strong at home. Alex Smith can run the football. He'll be able to throw. I really like this Chiefs offense this week. Running backs, if you're, again, playing the Thursday night games, I got Mark Ingram here in the playbook this week. The Panthers defense has been very easy to run on for the last 8 weeks. So it should be easy sledding for Mark Ingram if the Saints decide to go with the run. And at $5,500, it's still an amazing deal over on DraftKings. Other guys, I'm going to go back one more time to Marshawn Lynch. If you cannot run the football against the Oakland Raiders this week, I don't know of any other time we could possibly put you in this lineup. We had Marshawn Lynch in the playbook last week. He did not perform for us against the Carolina Panthers. I look for a turnaround at home finally this week. Ahmad Bradshaw has been the model of consistency, yet DraftKings doesn't seem to appreciate that and gives him only $5,800 value there. Love him this week. Love LaShawn McCoy. That offensive line in Philly's heating up. It's healthy finally. He's getting a strong dose of carries. $5,200 for LaShawn McCoy. I'll take that every single time. I love Shane Vereen. Full point PPR on DraftKings. So Shane Vereen, Patriots versus the Broncos this week. Okay, this is how it works. Broncos are going to put up points. New England's going to be in passing formations majority of the time. That means you could forget about Jonas Gray. You could forget about James White. Shane Vereen's your guy. He's going to be running. He's going to be catching a lot of passes. Got a good opportunity for a touchdown this week. Love Shane Vereen at $4,600. And what is up with Frank Gore being $3,800 on DraftKings this week? What in the hell is going on? What's the expectation there? Listen, it's still Frank Gore. It's still the 49ers offense. Yes, they're suffering along the offensive line. There's no question about it. This run game is not where it was at the start of the season. But Frank Gore against the Rams, still a good matchup. $3,800. You could really unlock a lot of higher priced, sure thing type players if you're using Frank Gore at the running back spot. Speaking of high-priced players this week, Calvin Benjamin's only $6,600. I love him on Thursday night. In fact, of all the players I mentioned about the Saints game tonight, the Saints and the Panthers, Calvin Benjamin's my number one play. $6,600. Got to be in all your lineups. If you're playing the Thursday slate, even if you're like me and you don't like to invest highly in Thursday night, I'm putting Benjamin in nearly all of my double-ups, all of my lineups, because I know he's going to go off. He's going to torture that beleaguered Saints defense, especially without Jarius Byrd this week. I like Colston as well. Colston's $3,900. Okay. Yeah, if you have to play, if you want a value guy and lock it in on Thursday, why not go with Marquise Colston? I don't see a problem with that. Otherwise, if you play those low guys like Shane Vereen, like Frank Gore, and Marquise Colston, you could unlock Antonio Brown, who's $9,100. Very pricey. But the thing with Antonio Brown, Don't you want to know what you're going to get? No matter what, you know Antonio Brown's going to get you 25 plus points on DraftKings every single week. It's the surest thing in fantasy football right now. I'm going ahead. I'll pay for that. I'll go cheap with players I'm not so sure about. Antonio Brown, I'm sure about, so I'm going with him. DeAndre Hopkins, 5,400. Ton of upside there for the Houston wide receiver. A lot of folks go. I notice a lot of people trending towards Andre Johnson this week. He's even a couple $100 more expensive. I don't really understand that. Fitzpatrick's proven chosen option is DeAndre Hopkins. Huge upside type play, $5,400. I'll take it. This is where I get a little crazy. Dwayne Bowe. I'm going for Dwayne Bowe. I mentioned earlier how I like Alex Smith with the Kansas City offense this week. It's just a great matchup for these guys. And Dwayne Bowe, big physical wide receiver going up against a very, very diminutive secondary there. And I like Dwayne Bowe. He's only going to cost you $4,500. To me, he's the perfect GPP play today, this week. Other guys I like, Julian Edelman for $4,100 over on FantasyAlarm.com in the season-long rankings. I got him in my top 10 this week against the Broncos. This is a game Patriots want to win. It's a huge game for both teams. It's a measuring stick game. Edelman's had a bunch of drops, and therefore the $4,100 price tag is appropriate. But he also gets 10-plus targets a game. As long, provided he holds onto the ball, as he's proven year after year he can, this is still a guy who's in the top 10 of targets, receptions in the NFL. I'm going to play Julian Edelman in my cash games this week. Other guys, Michael Floyd, it's an injustice that he's only $3,800. Love him against the Cowboys secondary this week. He catches a touchdown in week 9. Hakeem Nicks, going in the Monday night game, Hakeem Nicks is bare bones, $3,000. I want to mention, he played almost 25, he played 30% more snaps. He played 61 out of 69 snaps for the Indianapolis Colts last week compared to just 42 for Dante Moncrief. Sure, Moncrief's numbers were a lot better, but Hakeem Nicks is on the field a lot, and for a bare minimum price, if you're trying to unlock the Antonio Browns and Cam Newtons and the Marshawn Lynches of the world, you go ahead and do it with a Hakeem Nicks. You could even play the Hakeem Nicks, Reggie Wayne, Dante Moncrief triumvirate and swap out your lineups. Another feature I love about DraftKings. Tight ends this week, I got Jimmy Graham. Did we forget Jimmy Graham's the number 1 tight end? I get it. Everyone wants to think now Rob Gronkowski is the best tight end in the world because he caught 3 touchdowns against the Bears. Well, yeah, we get it. We understand he had an amazing week. Jimmy Graham, still, there's a reason. Jimmy Graham was in the first half of the first round, and Rob Gronkowski was going in the third round. It's because Jimmy Graham is significantly better than Rob Gronkowski. I don't know how that's hard for people to see. I get it. He had a great week last week, but Jimmy Graham's number 1, $6,700 on DraftKings. That's an absolute steal. Another guy you absolutely know. So play him tonight. Travis Kelce, like him, like a lot of this Chiefs passing game, $4,100 against the New York Jets this week. Absolutely love Travis Kelce. Love him in tournaments more than cash games because there's that low floor for him if Fasano's in more often. He's not going to generate a lot of catches, but the touchdown potential and double touchdown potential is there for Travis Kelce. Jason Witten and Clay Harbor, 2 other value moves at the tight end position. Defenses, Seattle at home against the Raiders and Derek Carr. I'm good with that. Price is deflated, only $3,300 on DraftKings this week. I like the Seattle defense. New England's defense is crazy low, $2,600. Bill Belichick really, really strategizes well against Peyton Manning historically. $2,600, it's worth an upside play. The Cleveland Browns this week, only $2,900 against the worst team in the NFL. So go with the Cleveland Browns. Kickers, only on FanDuel. I like Carol Santos. I like Nick Novak. I like Billy Cundiff. Don't pay for kickers, whatever you do. That is my biggest tip of a lifetime. All right, guys, for the DFS NFL Playbook, this has been Jeff Mans, Fantasy Alarm TV. Catch my show every weeknight on SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio. Until next time, have a winning week.